It's pretty windy, so we're going to move inside. Oh, I'm currently here with Mr. Simon from Jack the Lad Man. Apparently he's going to Jack the Lad Mag? Jack the Lad Mag. I just tongue-tied myself properly there.
It's true.
I'm going to be in his magazine, as it's a cool thing. I know Simon from years ago. When did we first work together, Simon?
10 years ago.
10 years. I was so young. I look back in the photos, I was so young and beautiful, and now I'm a bit haggard, and I live in a van, so...
Neither of us have changed.
No. Bless him.
Bit COVID weary.
Yeah, a bit COVID weary, exactly. Yeah, so we've just done a little photo shoot for the magazine, and yeah, it's time to be sort of moving on from this spot, because I don't know if you can tell, but outside the weather's a bit miserable. I mean, the clouds are lovely, but the weather's a bit winter wonderland out there, but without any of the charm. Yeah, so welcome to the next episode. Episode 7, I think, of this one. You guys have been amazing as we've been doing it online, and all the messages I'm getting back are really positive. I'm editing the diesel heater, the last episode now, so I'm really hoping that one was received well, because that's a new one. Anyway, today, or this episode, we are going to be doing... I've just shown you a bit of the van for no reason. The table. I'm going to be ripping that table out and making a new one and putting it in. It's going to be all white. It's going to be cool and a bit weird at the same time. And it's going to enable some more plans down the road. It's going to be cool. So let's get cracking. And already we have a change of plans. Never mind, backtrack. No table today. The van has decided to throw a major spanner in the works. The turbo has died, it's given up the ghost. So now I have an extremely asthmatic van that can barely get moving. So yeah, there's that, and the gear levers decided to start jumping out of first gear as well on top. So now the plan is to go pick up some spare parts. I've ordered a reconditioned turbo to be making its way to my friend's house now, and we are going to hopefully tomorrow morning break the turbo off this thing, take the turbo off this thing, I should say, and yeah, try and replace that, because this isn't already a messy enough van. So yeah, anyway, that's what we're doing now. Gonna hop into Mercedes and pick up the gaskets and other assorted bits that I need. So coming in at £3 under £700, we now have everything we need for a repair. The garages that I spoke to wanted over £1,500 to do it, so I'm opting to save myself some money and some labour and do it myself. Now we've gone with a reconditioned turbo. But all the gaskets, intake pipe, out pipe, I've got new oil, filter, do you know what I mean? I'm trying to do as good a job as I can. Yeah. And the goal is going to be to get all of these parts on tomorrow morning. And this is going to be the longest drive of my life, I think, because I now have a very sick van which I now have to take onto a dual carriageway. Wish me luck. So far, so good. Hey Dave.
Yeah mate, getting there.
There's me, literally all night last night, absolutely bricking it, going through stage by stage by stage how to get this turbo off, what I'm going to need to do, bits I'm going to need to have ready and things like that. And we started fresh and early in the morning, and as I'm sitting there, one of the stages is to drain the oil, so as I'm sitting there draining the oil, I just hear this faint, turbo's off, and Dave had gone and done it, like, really quickly. So thanks bud, I appreciate that. That's me shitting myself all night.
I can work hard when I want to.
So yeah, we're just in the process of fully disassembling the old one, checking everything against the new one, making sure it's the same one, etc, etc, all the parts from the same place. And then yeah, then comes the next bit. So wish us luck. Whoa. Good morning, everyone. I am breaking it. Today is the day that I've not been looking forward to for the longest time. And I kind of have. I've been needing this day to come. Today's the day it goes into the garage. So I'm not actually sure where I caught you up from last time. But basically, turbo went in okay. That's all fine. There's no more oil leak. Kind of. Yeah, the oil leak's mostly stopped, which is the main thing. The problem is the loss of power hasn't gone away. And the engine is still making that clanky noise. So I think maybe a misfire in one of the cylinders, or the turbo's not kicking in. I would think the turbo is completely done, except for when the engine's cold, like on a cold morning, it whistles. It sort of has that sucky whistly sound just quickly. And then as soon as the engine gets going at all, it stops. So it's impossible to diagnose where it's coming from, but it's still there, and I'm not sure if the turbo's working. So I'm just going to hand over to the experts and hope for the best, basically. So it's going into the Mercedes garage. Yay! Hope they don't absolutely rim me, because I can't afford for them to do all the work. So yeah, hopefully they're going to diagnose at least what the problem is, and then we can decide whether we want them to do it or whether we want to do it ourselves. At least hopefully knowing what it is should help. Fingers crossed. So I've tidied up the van. I know it doesn't look it, but I've tidied up the van. And sort of like made sure everything's like stored away, so it's not going to fall out when they put it on the ramps and things like that. I hope. Yeah, so we'll see what happens next. Wish me luck. So an update for you. Apparently, according to the folks at Mercedes, I've got some bad wiring between the throttle and the engine. And I'm like, well, is that just a dodgy sensor? And they said, no, apparently it's a fault in the wiring. Like the wiring itself is grounding or doing something wrong. I don't know how that's going to equate to a lack of power, because it revs okay, but apparently the engine's gone into something called LIMP mode, which sounds a lot like old patches here. Yeah, that's about right. I have no idea how accurate that is. They also said that apparently one of my coolant pipes is so soft they could tear it. And I definitely need to repair that, so yay! So, tomorrow, I'm going to firstly go back there and pick up the coolant pipe and sort out replacing that. I also need to, at some point, investigate the wiring. He's told me where he thinks the fault will be, you know, what to look for and things like that. So yeah, the woman I spoke to, I think I gave her the hump by asking too many questions. She's like, I don't know, I've only had a chance to read it. She got shitty with me. That's my fault, I was being awkward. Because I was in a bit of a rush. So yeah. Sorry, random Mercedes employee, I didn't mean to piss all over your day, but apparently I did. The guy was great, he just came out and just chatted to me about what was going on. They're busy people, and you hate to bother them, but when you're trying to save money, I guess, and just trying to do as much of the work you can as your own, I need a good understanding about what exactly is actually wrong is helpful. Because obviously they're a dealership, so their classic response is, it's got this fault, that's going to charge you 3 hours of labour to fix. That'll be £489,000, please, is what they want to say. But realistically, if he can say, the fault is likely here, start looking there, this is what you're looking for, do you know what I mean? I can just look myself, you know? I know what a melted wire looks like, which is what he made out that it was, so, yeah. I guess, now on to work. Oh, why do I have to work full time? Should I start a Patreon? If I start some kind of like GoFundMe, will you all just give me money and then I can just not work and I can just do van life stuff all the time? Yeah! One day maybe, but for now I've got to go to work, and then yes, after that it'll be a case of have a look at old patches and see if I can get his little problems fixed. And then we can actually get on with the fun stuff and like going places and seeing things. Super excited. Half of you love to leave messages on the video. Please do, it helps YouTube like promote me, I guess. Like and subscribe. And half of you just message me directly, be like, oh my god, I love this, blah 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 blah. Or like some of you screenshot my stupid faces I pull and do all that. So that's for you, Mikey. Yeah, I guess I'll see you all. What am I even talking about? Just go to work. Yeah. Anyway, let's cut to tomorrow where I'm looking at stuff, shall we? All right, let's do this. So, my engine, sorry state that it's in, one of two problems they found. First of all, this isn't actually directly, like, hitting the engine, but it's apparently a big danger. This pipe should not be this malleable. Like this apparently, that's a split, and this is very, very bad. It should be like this, like fairly firm and definitely holding its shape. So I don't know why that's so bad, but it definitely should not be that bad. So first job is going to be to take that off and swap that around, and then I need to find where in here is the throttle positioning cable. I'm guessing it might be these, maybe. Yeah, I'm going to try and find the throttle positioning cable and just, I don't know, start checking it for faults. Kind of at a loss here, but there's not much else to do, so let's give it a go. Oh, right, catch up time. So, good news is what is the good news? Let's see. First of all, the pipe that was flimsy and horrible went in, no problem. Checked all the wiring, found a couple that were like a bit frayed and a bit nasty. So I fixed those, sort of like re-insulated them, rebound them, made sure it was all right. Didn't work. And then I've gone to go and see, a couple of days have gone by, and then I've actually gone to go see a friend of mine, I think family member actually, family member in Colchester. And thank you, Darren, by the way, for all your help. And it turns out that my actuator, the throttle body itself, can get gunged up with rubbish, and that will generate the code that puts it into LIMP mode. So we finally have an answer, right? Well, the problem is that we can't actually get the damn thing off yet, and it's got clear evidence of tampering. So yet another of, like, it's been off before, someone's taken it off. So yet another sign that the bastards that sold me this van clearly saw me coming, and yeah, it's at some point been off and been badly put back on. So the plan is to have a look at it, take it off, give it a good clean, see if it's in working order. If it's in working order, put it back on. If it's not, replace it. And very little else to do. And then hope that solves the problem. And then on top of all of that, I found out that we've got another oil leak. Yeah! Somewhere near the top of the engine, apparently. It's weird because it doesn't seem to be triggering all the time. But while we were doing the tests and like plugging stuff in and like, do you know what I mean, working it out, it definitely started leaking some oil. So yeah, we're gonna have to find out where that is, take that off. Hopefully that's just a gasket, but do you know what I mean? It's gonna be even more work to do. I'm getting so tired of this. Now, because of scheduling, because of work, I am only free in the mornings this week, and they're only free in the evenings, so that's of no good to anybody. So what we're going to be doing is Saturday now, a week from, basically it's the weekend now, so next week, we're going to be taking the, we're going to be doing the work, basically, getting the part in, swapping it all out and seeing what we can do. Yeah, so it's what to do this week. I'm a bit downhearted because it's another delay. But yeah. Well, it may be delayed, but at least we have got a good idea what we're doing. You know, there's that, so that's a positive thing. And I've got a week to kill. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on, I've got some wood, and on the kitchen side that we have here, I've noticed that actually up there I've got like a load of my like spices and cooking utensils and things like that, and that does get quite hot up there when the hob's on, like the heat, like the wood and that lot, and the bottles themselves feel a bit warm, which doesn't sound great to me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a wooden backing on the bottom bit of this window, and then have like a shelf, So it creates like this little cubby hole, and then in like put my spices and that lot back there. And then using that shelf, I'm then going to be able to box the window in and have a set window there. So I think I might get on with that this week. Let's crack on. Let's do this. It's late, actually. It's night time. And I think I've had about enough for today. So I think I'm just going to chill out for this evening, put some music on, put some TV on, chill out, draw up plans for that shelf, and we'll go from there. Cool. All right, let's start, shall we? Oh. So, I've had a couple of messages from some of you guys about why, where's your next video and things like that. Which, by the way, thanks. You know, it's always nice to see that you people are watching them and like interested in the next one coming out and things like that. What is going on with my hair today? Crazy. I've just woken up. So basically, not much is going on. I'm stuck in this weird sort of unearthly limbo, waiting for the part to, it's been, I think like over a week now since I ordered the part for the van. Yeah, and until then, like the van can't really drive. Like it drives, but it drives in limp mode, which I really don't think is good for the engine. Like there's no turbo, there's no power. It won't really do more than 60, and you have to push it to get it to 60. It's designed as limp mode to get you home, not to like continuously, yeah. It's really not meant to drive around for a month. And yeah, I've been going like this for a good 2-3 weeks now, so it's not ideal. And I'm concerned about sort of like damaging the engine. So I've been spending a lot of my time basically just going like to work and then to the nearest park up and then to work and then to the nearest park up. And my whole life has just kind of paused a little bit. Which is okay because it's lockdown. It's lockdown the 2nd at the moment here in the UK, and everyone's kind of locked down in their homes. And yeah. This weekend, though, is a different story. I've got the part arriving on Monday, so I'm going to go see. So I'm going to go see my my dog this weekend. It's been a couple of weeks, so I'm going to go see Nishka. Give her some fusses and some loves. We've got some posts that have arrived back at the old house, so I'm going to go pick that up. The idea is this video, I'm hoping to end it by putting the part on and having a look at what other problems. There's 3 that I know about that need fixing. 4 that I know about that need fixing. So we've got the engine's in limp mode. After that, the intercooler is leaking. I can't fix the intercooler yet, but because the engine's in limp mode, it cuts the turbo. So there's it's impossible to find the leak. So the intercooler then needs doing. There is then a small oil leak somewhere still in the van on the upper middle part, just behind the fan. Not sure where that's from. So fix the intercooler, find that leak and fix that. And then the last bit is it's still jumping out of first. When I put it into first gear and pull off, it goes boing and sort of drops out of first. So I have to hold it in place. If you hold it in place, it pulls off fine. But yeah, there's some cabling issues or something. I've got these gear cables. These long cables that go from the gear lever to the end to the gearbox. That's the word. And yeah, I'm gonna try and I've got some new cables, so I'm gonna thread them through, replace them. Yeah, and those hopefully are the last 4 problems mechanically with the van, and like they're not undoable. Do you know what I mean? They've definitely. There's been moments where I felt like it's beaten me for sure, and there've been down moments caused by this whole mess. But it's doable. It's fixable. I'm trying to get my head in the right place. Yeah, it's been a bit weird, mental health wise. It's been a bit squiggly. I've definitely been grateful for my friends, old and new, sort of coming out of the woodwork and just generally touching base and things like that. It's been really good, but it's been really kind of, yeah, I've had like moments of elation and moments of deep kind of loneliness, and then I felt like a weird loner living in a broken van. Do you know what I mean? What you're doing with your life, sort of thing. Yeah, I've been all over the place, and I'm looking forward to seeing the dog, and just making some progress on the van, I think. I need to go travelling. I need to get some miles under me, I think. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, let's sort of smash cut to that a little bit. There are 5 problems. We also have a power drain. Totally forgot. Something is draining. Something somewhere, I don't know what, is shorting the battery and is slowly draining the battery overnight. So now when I park up, it's a case of lock the van, disconnect the battery, go to bed. Then connect the battery, start the van. Because if I leave it on for more than about 8 to 10 hours, the van won't start. It will kill it past. And it's really not doing the battery any good. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. 5 problems, and then we will sort it. Anyway, yeah, to walk the dog. Bye. What's a good girl, hey? Oh, belly rubs. It's a belly rubs. Oh, good girl. Good morning. Good afternoon, technically. It's been, I think it's been a funny few days. But I sit here, having possibly fixed one of the things of the things that were gone wrong with the van. So to catch you up, because it's actually been a couple of days, unfortunately, this episode has taken much longer than I intended to. Simply because this episode was about fixing the van, and that has taken an incredibly long amount of time. So, we tracked the limp mode fault. It wasn't hitting 60 or anything like that. It was severely underpowered and couldn't really go anywhere and was making weird noises. Wasn't a happy van at all. We tracked the fault back to the throttle body, had a look at that and replaced all that. I've done all that. That was the past couple of days. Now we've managed to restart it. It's no longer in limp mode, and the engine warning light has gone. However, the whistle is back. Because it's come out of limp mode, the whistle is back, and we thought it was a turbo, an intercooler leak. But I no longer think that's true. So, live, we're going to start the van and see if we can find the problem. So, the whistle was coming. I don't think it's from the intercooler leak. We think at the moment it might be a manifold leak. And that's where the exhaust comes out of the engine. Big metal thing, gets very hot very quickly. Might be leaking some fumes. So what I'm going to do, yesterday, the squeaking happened, and then the squeak went away, and there was an obvious and very clear manifold leak. So that is either now permanently broken, or that is dependent on the engine getting warm. This morning we're going to find out what it is, and that's going to help me diagnose what the problem is. So, live, I'm going to start the engine, and we're going to see if the squeak is there, and if the exhaust is leaking. Are you ready? Let's do this. So, squeak is here, and there is no leak. Now, yesterday, in there was smoke pouring out from a leak in the manifold, and I think it was at the back. Yeah, so it's an ongoing problem, but the squeak is definitely there. I'm now going to go see a mate of ours and see if we can get it fixed. That is going to be it for me this episode. I didn't actually manage to get around to doing the window frame. I've done the base bit, not the frame. That's going to be coming probably in the next episode. We've got a couple of good plans. The engine's back on, baby, so we're going to start hitting the road. I'm going to look at Norfolk. I'm going to look at all sorts of things, hit some beaches, cold water swimming, There are games with friends, there are meet-up plans, meals planned, all sorts of things on the road. I'm really excited for the coming weeks. Getting this thing back running out of limp mode was the first step, and it is a relief to have it done. That's where I'm going to call it for this episode though. Thank you all for taking your time and sitting and hanging out with me along this weirdly up and down, very depressive kind of week. It's been, I really appreciate it.